Hello everyone, Cap here and welcome back to some more Mechabellum. I had a match against a 2100 MMR player and I had to defend some Mustang aggression. Let me show you. I'm starting as Giant Specialist with Sledgehammers and Marksman, and my opponent is Elite Specialist. Elite Specialist usually being played aggressively, so that's what I'm already expecting. And I'm adding some crawlers behind the towers. My opponent, by the way, is starting with crawlers and phoenixes. And since I'm expecting aggression, I'm positioning my units a little bit further behind. That's what I usually like to do. And yeah, here we go, aggression on the left side. My opponent added more crawlers as well. A little bit awkward, I don't have the best chaff clear here, it's just the couple of sledgehammers that need to do a ton of work here. Good thing though, at least, that the level 1 sledgehammers one-shot the level 2 crawlers at least. But yeah, it's still not enough. Missile strike looking pretty interesting here. Yeah, and I'm checking the pathing of the units, and it seems like I can position the missile strike in a way that I can hit one full pack of crawlers as well as one pack of phoenixes. And that would be quite huge here for this round. And I'm adding some Mustangs, because Mustangs help with chaff clear and also help with phoenixes. They are just the one unit that's really good here. Like in so many cases, Mustangs just pretty much always good, but yeah, it made sense here. And my opponent also went for Mustangs, but my opponent has level 2 Mustangs, since they are Elite Specialist. And also some more level 2 crawlers added in the front as well. So theoretically, I was also considering going for arc lights here, but the problem is arc lights are not as good in this scenario because of the phoenixes. So Mustangs just, for one, they can also clear the phoenixes, and also, maybe even more importantly, because I already have phoenix clear with my marksman. But more importantly, because they are multi-units, they don't just die to the phoenixes, like arc lights would. And I'm seeing heavy armor here. I'm not really set up for any giants or something, or I don't want to go into the giants at the moment, but I'm thinking about doing something new. Something I haven't done in, I don't know, ever, maybe? And I'm going for a Rhino. So heavy armor, very strong item, and it's cheap. And Rhino could actually be really good here. It can tank quite a lot of the crawlers as well as the Mustangs. And buy me a lot of time, so the rest of my units can take out my opponent's units, potentially. And also because my opponent already started building Mustangs last turn, I'm expecting more Mustangs. And Mustangs take quite a while to take down a Rhino. However, my opponent also going for a Rhino, and level 2 Rhino with the heavy armor item as well. So they had the same idea, but their version is definitely stronger than mine. However, my Rhino taking quite a lot of hits before it dies, and actually also started taking out a couple of Mustangs as well. So I still like the idea. Going for a Rhino there with the item. And heavy armor was the one reason why I did this, by the way. I would not have gone for a Rhino without that item. But yeah, it's not quite enough. Level 2 Rhino and the level 2 Mustangs just a little bit too strong still. Parasitic ammo could be really good, but I pretty much instantly pick the haste module. A cheap item and a strong item for Mustangs, and I put it on my level 2 Mustang pack on the left. I could level my marksman, by the way, but I decided not to, because the only difference it would make would be against the Rhino. And yeah, I didn't want to invest into that, because there's so many targets that just get one shot by level 1 marksman anyways. And I'm going for a level 2 Rhino as well. Kind of sad that I have the item on a level 1 Rhino now, but it's okay. I could have sold it here, but I would have had to unlock it for 100 credits, and I didn't want to waste that money. Instead, I'm buying a level 2 pack of Mustangs as well. So, going for kind of similar units now as my opponent. Level 2 Rhino, level 2 Mustangs. However, yeah, level 2 Rhinos going at each other. However, my opponent's Rhino obviously has the heavy armor, so it's winning. However, it is enough damage on my side to take down that Rhino after all. By the way, a lot of crawlers here on the board, and that is because one pack of the opponent's Mustangs has parasitic ammo. So my opponent picked that item. Quite a big investment though, 400 credits, but obviously good choice. A lot of crawlers on the board. And my chaff clear right now is okay, but not great. Not yet at least. And yeah, there I'm seeing the pack there on the right. The Mustangs with the parasitic ammo. And I'm Giant Specialist, so now I am unlocking a Fortress. And I also picked the Amplifying Core. So I put the Amplifying Core on the Fortress here. And Missile Strike is back up. And I don't think it's going to work, but I'm trying anyways. There's a level 3 Mustang pack next turn, probably with parasitic ammo. So that would be huge if I could hit it with the Missile Strike. But my opponent might barrier. Or my opponent should barrier, in my opinion. Upgrading a couple of units. Also, I gave my Mustangs the HE upgrade, the Splash upgrade. So now I do have very good chaff clear, and the crawlers are not going to be a problem anymore. And I'm adding even more Mustangs behind the Rhino and the Fortress to help with chaff clear, so Rhino and Fortress can focus on dealing damage to the Rhino on the opponent's side. Also, by the way, my Missile Strike hit actually. My opponent did not barrier there, so that's pretty huge. Level 3 Mustang pack with parasitic ammo got taken out. Losing pretty hard on the left now though. Quite the close round here, but Fortress, too much HP. And tanking all those Mustang shots. Finally seems like I'm starting to stabilize. Portable shield, really good here as well. Yeah, and I'm putting it on the level 2 Rhino here. And left Rhino can also get leveled. And I'm getting range on the Mustangs. It's extremely important. My opponent does have range on the Mustangs already, and makes a big difference. Trying to sentry missile that one pack of level 3 Mustangs with the parasitic ammo. It will hit if my opponent doesn't put more units in front or something, because they are exposed right now, the way they are positioned. And I'm adding just a couple more crawlers to delay the left side a little bit more, because the left side lost kind of hard last turn, and I don't want to get run over as much. And unfortunately, right side, there's a barrier now, and also some more units that will tank the sentry missile there. So my opponent is basically going for Rhinos and Mustangs now. I wasn't sure if they would fully commit to the Rhinos, but there are more Rhinos now, so... or a second Rhino at least. So it looks like this is their kind of final composition, more or less. Right side unfortunately barely getting through. That one Rhino has basically no HP left. Winning on the left side now though. The crawler is actually kind of helpful on the left, as well as obviously the range and the levels on the Mustangs. But yeah, with the right tower falling there, that was a bit unlucky because of the low HP of the Rhino. If the Rhino would have died there, I probably would have been able to defend the right side. Orbital Javelin here. Don't really like to see that. Might go onto my Fortress there. Putting down a smoke on the middle for the 2 high-level Mustang packs and one with the parasitic ammo. And I'm selling my Fortress, just so I can reposition it because of the orbital. And I'm recruiting 2 level 2 fortresses now. Both kind of on the right side, one to deal with the Rhino in the middle and one to deal with the Rhino on the right side. And also I'm giving them barrier, because then the Mustangs are going to get held up for quite a while. Also taking a credit to level my Mustangs. Don't want to fall behind in Mustang levels either. My opponent went for foot in emission on the Rhinos as well as burrow on crawlers. And also a third Rhino on the left there. And it's not quite enough on the left. Well, now it is. Left side getting overwhelmed. Right side holding very well though. Barrier still up. First barrier going down now though. And that fortress in the middle is tanking so much. Opponent's Mustangs though dying so slowly to my Mustangs with the splash upgrade. Mustangs a lot of the time too far apart to really get hit by the splash. And yeah, the damage was just not enough then. One fortress left, but it's getting taken out by the 3 leveled phoenixes here. So quite the close round. And I feel like I'm on the right track, but not quite enough just yet. And I'm getting the damage and HP upgrades from the tower. It's a bit late already, by the way. I didn't notice really that I didn't already buy them. Should have gotten them earlier. It's kind of important with Mustangs. And on the right side, I'm placing my missile strike, hopefully taking out the Mustangs as well as the crawlers there. Could work out if my opponent doesn't barrier over there. Added another fortress on the left, both for the barrier, but also for the damage against the Rhino there. And I'm getting temporary range. It's getting quite late in the game, and having the temporary range, especially Mustang versus Mustang, is very important and can quite heavily swing the round if one of you gets extra range and the other doesn't. My opponent went for a melting point, but just one so far on the right side. And it's getting distracted for quite a while actually, still, by my crawlers. Also Mustangs or some tanks I think in the front now on the right. And they are, yeah, they bought enough time for my level 2 fortress on the right to take down that melting point. And this is a pretty hard win now. A lot of damage, but not quite enough. My opponent down to 761 health. Battleship could be really good here. There's no anti-air in the back, and yeah, I'm going for it. I'm trying. I'm considering putting it on the left there, where the sentry is, because the battleship doesn't die to a sentry. It would get slowed though. And yeah, I'm putting it in the middle still, but I was considering going for the left, because with the sentry there, it's likely that my opponent is thinking, okay, sentry is enough, that flank is covered, but it's actually not covered against the battleship. However, because of the slow effect, I still decided to just go for the middle and see if that's going to work out. Adding 2 more fortresses to cover basically my entire board with barriers. And I still have 500 credits left, and I'm getting the range upgrade. I recently lost against someone with exactly this setup, kind of. So Mustangs and fortresses, and the fortresses with range. And even against melting points, the melting points kind of get hit a lot of the time by the ranged fortresses so quickly, and they die too quickly before the melting points can actually take care of the fortresses then. So range on the fortresses is really good in a matchup against melting points, by the way. My opponent placed 1 pack of Mustangs in the back. That was actually enough with the help of a barrier to take down my battleship in the back. Left side wasn't covered, the left flank. Fortresses taking on the melting points. Melting points also with range, by the way. However, still getting distracted by Mustangs, which have 5 less range, by the way, than the ranged fortresses. So the Mustangs will go in front of the fortress, just barely, and then buy time for the ranged fortress to take down the melting point. That is why this is so good. Range on the Mustang and range on the fortress here, it works out in a way that the melting point actually doesn't counter fortress as well anymore. That's why I picked up the range on the fortress to begin with, because I lost to that and I was really frustrated because I thought my melting points should counter that, but they didn't. So yeah, fortress is really strong. Fortress Mustang obviously as well. I built some rhinos in the beginning. I'm very proud of that. I don't build rhinos like ever, because in a defensive setup like this, it's often not that great, but it still can be quite good. So yeah, anyways, Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.